Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination based on race, color, and national origin in programs and activities that receive federal funding. When the program or activity receiving federal funding results in harm that affects human health and the environment, and a disproportionate share of that harm is borne based on race, color, or national origin, environmental injustices are occurring in our communities.
Title VI is an underutilized administrative complaint process that has great potential in promoting environmental justice.
Creating a disparate impact screening tool and dispersing it among community organizations whose work focuses on environmental issues will spread awareness of the ways these communities can address discrimination.
The Peer Group is a Miami-based nonprofit law firm that uses a community lawyering approach to help reform structures and build policies for thriving, sustainable, and equitable communities, alongside and with communities. As community lawyers, we use many tools, both legal and otherwise, to do this. We are always open to new tools and policies that could assist in the fight against environmental injustices. One issue Miami currently faces is sea level rise, which is impacting wealthier communities along the coast. A potential adaptation measure to sea level rise in general is called managed retreat, where funds are dispersed to assist vulnerable coastal communities with relocation. But managed retreat programs in Miami may have negative impacts on inland communities of color, mostly through a process of climate gentrification and forced displacement, as the wealthier communities retreat inland and forcefully displace communities of color who have predominantly lived on this higher ground for decades because before sea level rise became an issue, it was not as coveted an area as the beachfront Miami properties. Title VI complaints could provide solutions to these disparate impacts of federally funded managed retreat programs.
We would now like to introduce two existing tools that, if combined, could help community organizers and residents identify potentially viable Title VI complaints: the EPA's EJScreen tool and the USASpending tool. Let's begin with the first one, the EJScreen. The EPA's Environmental Justice Screening and Mapping tool allows users to choose a geographic area and then find demographic and environmental information about that area. EJScreen provides 12 pollution and source indicators, such as air toxics cancer risk and hazardous waste proximity. These are assessed with 7 demographic indicators, including people of color, which is of specific interest for Title VI consideration. Other factors, including climate change impacts, can also be examined. For example, let's search the neighborhood of Little Haiti in Miami-Dade County, Florida. We can select people of color and sea level rise, and the image now reflects the impacts of sea level rise on the vulnerable populations of Little Haiti. USASpending.gov tracks how federal money is being spent in communities across America. We can search for federal awards in fiscal years 2021 and 2022, filtered by Little Haiti's zip code. This search yields 63 results, meaning that 63 entities in Little Haiti receive federal funding in FY22 and 23. These two tools can be overlapped to find federally funded projects that may cause disparate impacts on vulnerable communities like Little Haiti facing climate change and sea level rise. The government maintains both datasets, but the tool would be strengthened if these and other geospatial data were integrated. We propose combining these programs to make a Title VI disparate impact screening tool. EJScreen may supplement potential Title VI complaints through the demographic indicators and EJ Index. USASpending allows citizens to determine if programs that have led to potential disparate environmental impacts receive federal funding. An integrated geospatial tool could then be used by community organizations at the local level to raise awareness about Title VI disparate impact complaints and provide communities with resources and assistance in filing the complaints. This screening tool will assist the community in determining whether a program is federally funded and provide support in establishing whether an adverse disparate impact may exist. To establish an adverse disparate impact, a complaint must identify and define the discriminatory policy or practice and establish adversity, disparity, and causation. The community may utilize the disparate impact screening tool to supplement their understanding of whether a disparity may exist before they invest additional time filing a complaint. We may consider how a climate change adaptation program such as Managed Retreat from Sea Level Rise could result in disparate impact to communities of color. Hypothetically, if implemented without environmental justice considerations incorporated into the Managed Retreat program, it could have real environmental injustice effects. In Little Haiti, which sits at 7 feet above sea level rise, the adversity would be identified as overburdened communities of color becoming further overburdened as people flee the coast to properties on higher ground. Furthermore, the People of Color indicator on EJScreen provides data that may support the potential disparity of the Managed Retreat program. The causation would then need to be established through additional data indicating where individuals who participated in the program relocated. Looking beyond the example of Managed Retreat, other environmental justice indices, socioeconomic indicators, health disparities, and climate change data in the EJScreen may be used to supplement Title VI disparate impact complaints. Together, EJScreen and USASpending can explore local environmental injustices and the potential viability of Title VI disparate impact complaints through federally available data.